and I'll be working
Hi.
with you today.
Awesome.
How are you feeling? How's everything going?
Oh, I mean, everything's going okay. I'm in college, and so, I'm constantly getting that question of like, so what are you going to do after you graduate? And
What year are you?
I'm a junior.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
So you've got a little time,
yeah.
maybe a year to decide.
Yeah.
What's
So,
coming
it's
in.
just kind of like, I have a general idea of what I want to do, but people just keep asking me, and when I'm telling them, it's what I want to do, but it's just kind of that, that unknown. You just don't know.
Well, when people ask, are you excited about telling them?
I am really excited, and I love my major. It is really awesome. So just kind of like narrowing it down to like my specific career is just kind of challenging.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are like your top 3 options, let's say, that you're looking at?
Well, my major is HDFS, and so I think my top option right now, or what I've wanted to do for a long time, is be a child life specialist.
Okay.
Just because I love kids, I like being in the hospital setting, so I think that is my number one, kind of choice right now. Second one, maybe just like work with children and families, like with counseling, or even just some type of like youth work in a church or something like that. So
Okay.
I think those are my top 3 right now, but I think child life specialist is my first choice.
Okay. Well, that's good that you have one specifically higher than the other 2. What are your concerns about child life? Like, what are your concerns transitioning from college to the job? Like, are you worried you might not get a job in that, or are you worried that? Are there any other worries that are concerning you?
I think that you kind of hit it. I am kind of concerned just in finding a job, right after college, because it's kind of a fairly new field, which makes it a more competitive field, just because there's not a whole lot of jobs open everywhere around the country. It's mainly like the bigger hospitals. And so kind of just concerned in finding a job. And I'm not really like worrying about it yet. It's just more of like, I just don't really know what could happen. So kind of just that concern of like, I just really don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is tough. The future, when it's unknown, it can be hard and stressful at times, especially if you're having to go through one more year of stress. So that is definitely difficult. What do you think, how do you think you can help these concerns? Like, have you thought about maybe talking to other people that are in your major, that are above you, that are seniors right now, about to go into it, or like people who are already that career, or shadowing experience?
Yeah, I've definitely both. Let's see, I definitely have friends that are older than me in this major that want to be child life specialists, and so it's kind of been good to like bounce off ideas off of them. So that's been helpful. But then I do need to shadow someone because I haven't yet. I've shadowed people in different fields, but not a child life specialist. So I'm actually planning on doing that this summer. I do know a few people that are child life specialists, so I think that will be good just to kind of like, I don't know, be there firsthand and experience what they do.
Yeah, and that is great. It sounds like you have the resources already that you need in doing that, and I think that may set you apart from the rest in this competitive field, that you've already been with, had some experience under your belt, and just worked with child life specialists who are already in that job. That is hard. So, are your goals in your future career, as they kind of line up and as you're getting closer to graduating, do you see them as attainable, or do you see yourself like accomplishing these things?
Yeah, I really do. And that's the fun part. I see my goals, and basically it's, getting my degree in these 4 years and hopefully getting an internship soon. Kind of, it's fun because I see myself reaching these goals and, hopefully becoming a child life specialist. But if that is not the plan for me, then something else will happen and it'll be great. And, so
Yeah.
it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is that I feel like you have goals, but you also have steps to take to those goals and accomplishing those. Because it is hard deciding a career and pursuing that career and getting a job as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So, well, with your major, you kind of talked about your other options as well, like options 2 and 3. Is your major a pretty broad major that you could be flexible and do other things with, or?
I think it really just depends, and a lot of times it just depends on the career, because I think some people who hire are really accepting, and as long as you have a degree, they're so willing to work with you as long as it's kind of in like the same general field.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like if I were to work in a church, I think my degree would be sufficient. I mean, at least working with kids. So I think, I don't know, I'm not really too worried. And it is it's pretty specific right now just because it's really geared toward child life specialists, but I think the classes I'm taking can span out over other careers too. So, yeah.
Well, and it sounds like your major is so broad that after you graduate, you could get a job in a lot of different areas. So I feel like even if child life, you might not get to be a child life specialist right off the bat, you won't be jobless because there's just so many opportunities maybe with...
Yeah, that's a really good point.
With your major. And I just want to help you just try and achieve those goals and
yeah, thank you.
And just write out steps to get those goals but I think you're on the right track and hopefully next week we can maybe talk a little more about what each of those goals specifically look like.
Yeah, that would be really great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Great.